Presentation will focus on encouraging college student success, the instructional challenges, response strategies, and study skills of contemporary undergrad students by Deshae Johnson. Abstract and introduction. The abstract provided relevant information pertaining to the study. It talks about how current undergrad students are currently dealing with issues such as academic success, ways of studying, coping with them, and how difficult it is to have a personal life and trying to be a good college student. In the article, the author stated that higher education is increasing by 2010. Higher education is subject to increase from 15 million students to 18 million students by 2012. And the study was created basically to study how current undergrad students view their own skills, what challenges they face, and what ways they respond. Along with that, literature review was discussed in the articles as well. The authors talked about how the study was conducted for undergrad students, basically trying to change their perception of how they view their experiences on campus being an undergrad student. And he also talked about how the increase in retention and matriculation, as well as that the authors basically was restating that the enrollment has increased by 20%, being that it was freshmen that actually came in and helped the university increase. So, and again, they talked about how enrollment is subject to increase by 2010. Along with that, the authors also talked about information about findings that they found from different research studies. Like, they talked about how the 50 services that was offered from different universities, and it talked about how the university may offer these services to athletics more than they offer to just regular students on campus who may actually need the assistance. They also talked about how they have different strategies for test-taking skills, note-taking skills, tutoring. And along with that, they were saying that there are services offered on campus that undergrad students may not take advantage of, such as the counseling center, like counseling for you having issues with how to study. You may have issues outside of school, such as your personal issues, and you don't want to bring them on campus, but sometimes you actually need the help to get focused. Also, they talked about how tutoring services may be offered. Like, you may have somebody in that subject who can help you, like they may be better than you in this particular subject. So they're saying that a lot of students don't take the advantage of the tutoring service offers as well. And along with that, they're saying that students don't take advantage of their advisement. Like, if you're struggling with issues currently in certain classes, they're saying that it's okay to go and see your advisor. It's okay to seek help from your advisor. Don't be scared to get help. And the authors use information. All the information was cited correctly from different authors. They talked about different trends of how students experience things. They pulled pieces from different authors to put together to find what is the main issue, what is the issue for college students having issues with their personal life, and bringing it to the college experience for the academic level. And again, the purpose was to conduct ways of finding strategies to break down the academic barriers that currently undergrad students are facing as far as being academically successful in their college experiences. The methods part, they were broke down by the participants, the measuring part, and the sampling. So I'm going to talk about the participant part first. The participants were 88 participants, which consisted of 70 females, 18 males, and then broken down from age group, which the average was 25 years old. The largest group was 40 students, which consisted of age 26 and 30, and the remaining was the young age, which was 25 and younger. As far as the sampling was conducted by a spring 2003 undergrad department and students who were enrolled in education in a well-known university located in the western United States. As far as the measures, the data was collected from the Pope survey, which was broken down in 5 sections, but the author only talked about 4. And the study was originally designed for the 2-year university, but researchers found out that it was relevant and valid for the 4-year university, which they talked about the different responses of how students cope with things, and the charts included in the PowerPoint shows the table 1. Table 1 talks about how they focused on the variables was the gender and the female, the ethnicities, the ages, the last birthdays, and they broke down how different ethnicity groups, the Asian Pacific Islanders were 12%, the Native American was 1%, Hispanics were 14%, multi-ethnic was 9. Black 9, Hispanic was 6, white 9, Hispanic was 53. And they talked about the self-reported overall grade point average for equivalent on a 4.0 grading scale, and it was broken down into 0.09, 1.0 to 19, 2.0 to 2.99, and 3.0 to 3.99. And it talked about how the employment outside of the home, which the frequency was 81% of yes, and no was 7%. The frequency for no was 7, and the percentage was 92% for yes and 8 for no. Table 2 talks about the college student study skills, like how many of them study at home, study alone, work on a group project, in or out of class, use resources of a computer, visit the college library, study in a small group, making structures outside of class, complete a course by independent studying, make use of peer tutor, and make a use of other tutors. And table 3 was the response. The response students gave to the researchers based on the Pope survey used for this study. Talked about how the students respond to what extent is a personal challenge for you, how is balancing your academic and personal life, thinking about the future, making lifestyle choices, finding spiritual direction, finding transportation to college. These were the different questions that were asked by the university during the survey. Like, what is the reasons for you to have these academic barriers? What are the issues? And they moved down to the bottom. They're talking about the cope is how often do you participate in the physical activity, consult with a family member, participating in prayer, meditation, spiritual counseling, use the college counseling services, use library resources for resolving your personal issues. It was basically trying to see what is the main issue of why students in academic level, undergrad academic level, have such issues with being academically successful. Like, they're trying to find out what are ways they can change, what are ways that universities can take the information that researchers provided to make it better for incoming freshmen, so they won't have the same issue with the incoming freshmen that they may have with students already currently enrolled in the university. Basically, the university wants to find different methods of ways to increase their retention and matriculation, which I stated in the previous slides. They were dealing with how they want to make changes to their university. So I think that these responses